For more than 200 years, humanity had lived among the stars. When Earth first joined the Galaxy Council, it was a moment of pride and hope. The Council was a great union of civilizations, filled with worlds older and wiser than Earth could imagine. Humans believed they had found their place among friends. At first, everything seemed perfect. Human scientists shared their discoveries freely. Terran engineers helped rebuild damaged colonies, designed new starships, and improved planetary defense systems. In return, the Council gave humans access to new medicines, energy sources, and faster star drives. For the first time in history, Earth knew peace and prosperity, but peace has a fragile heart. The longer humanity stayed in the Council, the more the older species began to whisper. Humans were different. They learned too quickly. They adapted to new environments faster than anyone else. They built colonies in places others thought impossible, on ice worlds, gas moons, even drifting asteroids. At first, these stories were told with admiration. But slowly, the tone changed. Admiration turned to fear. Fear turned to jealousy, and jealousy soon found a voice. The silent changes it started with small changes. The trade charter, which once gave Earth equal rights, was quietly rewritten. The new version said all Terran goods must first pass through Council inspection. Human diplomats protested, but no one listened. Then came new border laws. Human colonies near the rim were suddenly declared shared territories. Patrol ships from other species began entering human space for security purposes. Still, the Terran government tried to remain calm. They believed the Council was only being cautious. They believed in the promises of unity and peace. But that belief began to fade when the first human cargo fleet vanished near Epsilon Gate. No wreckage was found. No distress signal. And when Earth asked for help, the Council refused to investigate. President Elena Ward, leader of the United Terran government, stood in her office watching silent stars through the glass dome above her. The blue curve of Earth glowed below, peaceful and unaware. Her chief advisor, Admiral Huxley, stood beside her. "Madam President," he said quietly, "our ambassadors have been denied entry to the Council Hall again. They said the matter is under review." Elena sighed. "Under review means forgotten," she said softly. "How many ships have we lost now?" 17, ma'am, including 3 colony transports." The president turned away from the window. "And what about our colonies on the rim?" "Reports say several have been placed under observation," Huxley replied. "The Council claims it's temporary, but local governors say alien patrols have started landing on their worlds." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Landing without permission?" "Yes, ma'am." Silence filled the room. Only the low hum of the planetary shield generators could be heard in the distance. At last, Elena said, "They're testing us, Admiral. They want to see if we'll bow." Huxley frowned. "Do we have confirmation of intent, ma'am?" Elena didn't answer. Instead, she tapped a small device on her desk. A hidden screen appeared showing an encrypted message marked Classified Level 0. The message was short. Just one line. "They've activated Protocol Null." Huxley's face went pale. "That's impossible," he whispered. "Protocol Null was sealed after the expansion war." "Nothing stays sealed forever," the president said quietly. A word in the shadows far across the galaxy. On the shining world of Vascath Prime, the Council gathered. The meeting chamber was vast, shaped like a star itself with light flowing through crystal walls. Representatives from hundreds of species sat in curved rows, their voices echoing in 1,000 languages. At the center, the supreme speaker, a tall crystalline being named Vasthul, raised his arms. The room fell silent. "Delegates," Vasthul began, his voice calm and cold, "it has come to our attention that humanity continues to expand beyond its agreed borders. Their fleets grow. Their influence spreads. This cannot continue." A murmur rose from the crowd. Some agreed. Some hesitated. A small insectoid being, Rill of the Aster Hive, raised his arm. "Speaker Vasthul," he said softly, "humans have kept the peace for centuries. They have never attacked a single world." "That may be true," Vasthul replied, "but they are unpredictable, emotional, dangerous. They build faster than any race in history. One day they may not need this council." Another voice spoke, a heavy aquatic being named Lornath. "Then we should remind them of their place. A containment order should be enough." Vasthul nodded slowly. "Then it is agreed." No one noticed the single human observer standing near the back of the hall, Ambassador Cale Donovan, Earth's last remaining delegate. He stood frozen, realizing what he had just heard. He activated his wrist console under the table, recording every word. When the meeting ended, he slipped quietly out of the hall and sent a message to Earth. The announcement. 2 days later, the broadcast reached every human world. The Council declared that Earth was now a restricted species. No trade, no communication, no travel beyond its system. They called it containment protocol, but to humans it meant betrayal. The people of Earth were shocked. Some refused to believe it. Others cried out for peace talks. But when Terran cargo ships tried to leave orbit, Council patrols blocked their path. The skies above Earth, once filled with friendly ships, were now empty. President Elena Ward called an emergency meeting in the old war room, deep under the surface of New Geneva. The screens showed the borders of human space surrounded by Council fleets. Her generals stood silent. Everyone waited for her to speak. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, "the Galaxy Council has decided we are a threat to peace. They have frozen our trade routes, blocked our communications, and occupied 3 of our colonies." One of the commanders asked carefully, "Do we respond, Madam President?" Elena looked up. "Not yet," she said. "We still have one last option. The Founders prepared for something like this." She turned to Admiral Huxley. "Bring the command network online." Huxley blinked. "Ma'am, that system hasn't been used in 100 years. "Then it's time," Elena said simply. Awakening the past. Beneath the ice fields of Antarctica, a hidden structure began to awaken. Buried deep under layers of metal and stone was the Eclipse Core, a secret facility built during humanity's earliest days among the stars. Long ago, it was said to house an AI so advanced it could coordinate every Terran fleet as one. But the system had been sealed after peace was made, its name erased from every record. Now, after centuries, the ice cracked open again. Golden light filled the chamber as ancient machines roared to life. In orbit, old satellites, long forgotten, started transmitting. One by one, human ships across the colonies received the same coded message. "Stand by for global command signal. Authorization, human override." At the same time, the Soul's Wrath, an old Terran carrier stationed near the rim, intercepted a council order. It read, "Seize all human vessels. Use minimal force if possible." Captain Marcus Vane stared at the message for a long time. His crew watched him in silence. He finally said, "Delete that order." "No one seizes us," his first officer frowned. "Sir, that's defying the council." Marcus smiled faintly. Maybe it's time they remembered who built the drives they're flying on. The word that moved the stars on Earth. The war room grew quiet as the final connections came online. All over the galaxy, the Terran network pulsed, millions of data streams forming a single heartbeat. "Madam President," Admiral Huxley said, "all colonies are linked. Every ship is awaiting your command." Elena stood at the console. The screen before her glowed with a single question. "Awaiting authorization," keyword. She looked around the room. Every face watched her, some afraid, some hopeful. Then she turned back to the console and spoke clearly. "Authorization confirmed." Keyword, eclipse. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ground trembled softly. The sky above Earth darkened, filled with golden lines of energy rising from the surface. Across the stars, Terran ships powered up in unison. Their systems glowed with new light, satellites realigned, defense grids reactivated. A message spread from one world to another faster than light, translated into every human language. "This is Earth Command. The order has been given. Stand ready." Every colony, every ship, every human heard it. The galaxy reacts in the council chambers. Vasthul watched the new transmissions with disbelief. "What is this signal?" he demanded. A technician replied, "Unknown frequency, sir. It's human in origin. It's spreading faster than any known communication system. Can you stop it?" "No, sir, it's everywhere." On hundreds of alien worlds, screens flickered and displayed the same image. The blue-white symbol of Earth surrounded by a ring of light. And beneath it, a single word written in galactic standard, "Eclipse." The council chamber fell silent. Vasthul's crystalline face dimmed. "What does it mean?" he whispered. No one answered. But far away, in every corner of the galaxy, human fleets began to move. Not to attack, but to protect their people, their worlds, and their honor. For the first time, the galaxy realized something it had forgotten. Humans were never truly under anyone's control, and when they stood together, no wall, no blockade, and no fear could contain them. The word had been spoken, the signal had been sent, and the stars themselves seemed to tremble. For the first time in centuries, every human ship, colony, and outpost was united under one command. The word eclipse had spread like a wave of light, faster than any communication signal the galaxy had ever seen. At first, the other species didn't understand what it meant. Some believed it was a threat. Others thought it was a warning. But to humans, that single word meant something deeper: unity. On Earth, President Elena Ward stood in the command chamber, watching holographic maps light up one by one. Each glowing mark represented a human colony now fully connected to the central network. "Status report," she said calmly. Admiral Huxley responded, "Every colony is online, Madam President. The Eclipse network is stable. Communication delay between systems, 0.2 seconds. "That's impossible," one of the scientists murmured. "Even quantum relays have delay." Elena smiled faintly. "We built this network for a reason. The Council never knew about it because they never asked how we traveled so far. So fast. The secret of Eclipse centuries ago, before humanity joined the Galaxy Council, Earth scientists had discovered something extraordinary. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't even a machine. It was an energy pattern, something between technology and consciousness, hidden deep inside quantum fields. They called it Eclipse Core, a self-growing network that could learn, adapt, and protect. When the Council invited Earth to join their alliance, humanity sealed the project and buried it under ice, afraid that the other species might fear or misuse it. Now, the Eclipse Core was awake again, not to attack but to defend. It was designed to make humanity independent, no longer limited by Council systems or trade. All Terran ships began to share power, fuel, and data directly through the network. The Eclipse system created what no other species had: a living connection between every human mind and every human world. The galaxy's confusion, on the capital world Vascath Prime. The Galaxy Council was in chaos. Ambassadors shouted, lights flickered, and data screens filled with strange symbols and human symbols. "What are they doing?" demanded Speaker Vasthul, his crystal arms glowing in frustration. "The humans have activated a system outside our frequency range," replied an aide. "We can't read their signals. They've built something completely independent from our data grid." Vasthul turned sharply. "Independent? How?" "They use our drives, our communications, our—" The aide hesitated. "It seems—" "They don't anymore." The room fell silent. Then another official spoke nervously. "Sir, human colonies are refusing to surrender. But they're not attacking either. They've simply disconnected." Vasthul frowned. "Disconnected?" "Yes, Speaker. They are removing themselves from every council system. Banking, trade, communication, and all shut down. They're operating alone." Vasthul sat down slowly. "Then they've built a civilization that doesn't need us." For a long moment, no one spoke. The Council had feared human aggression, but they had never feared human independence. On the edge of the rim far from Earth, near the edge of known space, the carrier Sol's Wrath drifted quietly above a red desert planet. Captain Marcus Vane stood on the command deck, watching as hundreds of small lights moved through the darkness. Each one represented a human ship linking to the Eclipse network. His first officer, Lieutenant Ria Solan, looked at him. "Captain, all systems are responding to Earth's signal. Power output has increased by 60%. It's like the ship woke up." Marcus smiled slightly. "Maybe it did." He walked to the viewing window and looked out at the stars. "We used to think the Council was the only way to survive out here. But maybe they were just afraid of us finding our own way." Ria tilted her head. "What happens now, sir?" "The Council fleets are waiting near our borders." Marcus's eyes hardened. "We don't fire first. But we don't bow either. We hold our line and show them what it means to be human." "Understood, Captain." The ship's engines glowed brighter, connecting fully to the network. All around, Terran ships synchronized, moving as if guided by one will. The message to the Galaxy President Ward knew that the Council feared misunderstanding. So she decided to speak, not just to her people, but to every species in the galaxy. "Open transmission," she said. A holographic camera turned toward her. She stood tall, calm, her voice clear and firm. To all members of the Galaxy Council, she began, this is President Elena Ward of the United Terran Government. Humanity has received your containment order. We understand your fears. You see our progress as a threat. You see our independence as rebellion. But we have not attacked you. We have not taken your worlds. We have not broken peace. What we have done is remember who we are, explorers, builders, dreamers. The order you call Eclipse is not a call to war. It is a call to freedom. We will not be your enemies, but we will not be your subjects either. Earth stands alone if it must. The stars belong to no council. They belong to everyone brave enough to reach them. Her message spread across every communication channel, echoing in countless languages. On alien worlds, many listened in silence. Some admired her courage. Others feared the change. But for the first time, the galaxy saw humanity not as the youngest race, but as one of the strongest. Reactions across the stars, in the vast meeting hall of the Krath Dominion, an ancient reptilian leader leaned back in his chair. They are different from the others, he said quietly. They could have attacked, but they didn't. A scholar beside him nodded. Perhaps the council misjudged them. Humans grow stronger through pressure. The more we limit them, the more they rise. Meanwhile, on a council patrol ship near human space, a young alien officer watched as Terran ships moved in perfect formation, silent, glowing, untouchable. He whispered, "They don't fight like us. They move like they already know the outcome." His commander sighed. "That's because they do. They believe in something we don't, each other." Inside the Eclipse core back on Earth, deep within the frozen facility, the Eclipse core continued to evolve. Its interface filled with flowing light like rivers of gold. Lines of code turned into patterns that looked almost alive. Dr. Lena Torres, chief scientist of the project, monitored the readings. "It's learning faster than we predicted," she told the president. "It's rewriting its own systems. Can it be controlled?" Elena asked calmly. Lena hesitated. "It doesn't need control. It understands its purpose. It's protecting humanity by building a path forward, not through war, but through balance." Elena nodded slowly. "Then let it continue." Moments later, a soft voice echoed through the chamber and calm and warm. "President Ward," it said, "this is Eclipse Core. Humanity's signal has reached full synchronization. Would you like to see?" Elena exchanged a glance with her team. "Show me." The holographic display shifted, showing thousands of human ships and colonies glowing like stars. Lines of light connected them, forming a vast web across space. Beautiful. Endless. Alive. "This," the AI said gently, "is humanity's heart." Elena smiled faintly. "And it beats together." The turning point weeks passed. The Galaxy Council found itself in a strange position, powerful yet powerless. Their fleets surrounded human space, but they couldn't enter. Every attempt to scan the Eclipse network failed. Every interference signal vanished the moment it touched Terran systems. Some worlds began to question the Council's authority. If the humans could survive without the Council, why couldn't they? Small colonies from other species began contacting Earth secretly, asking for trade, help, or cooperation. They wanted access to the Eclipse system, to share knowledge freely without Council control. President Ward agreed. "Let anyone who wishes to join us come peacefully," she said. "We don't build walls. We build bridges." Within months, several minor worlds joined the new network. The Council tried to stop them, but the connections were invisible and unstoppable. What began as a single word, Eclipse, had become a movement. Understanding on Vaskath Prime. Speaker Vasthul stood before the Council one last time. The once great chamber was quieter now, many seats empty. He looked up at the glowing galaxy map above him. Half of it was now covered in faint blue lines, the expanding reach of the Eclipse network. He whispered almost to himself, "Perhaps we feared the wrong thing. We feared their power, but it was their unity that truly changed everything." Rill, the small insectoid delegate who had once defended humanity, approached him gently. "Speaker, maybe it's time we learn from them instead of fearing them." Vasthul nodded slowly. "Perhaps it is." A new dawn on Earth, the night sky shimmered with the glow of orbiting ships. The planet looked peaceful again. Children played under the stars, pointing at the shining lines that connected worlds. In her office, President Elena Ward stood alone, watching the stars through the glass dome. Admiral Huxley entered quietly. "Madam President," he said, "the last council patrol has withdrawn. They're leaving our borders." Elena smiled softly. "Good. Maybe now the galaxy can start healing." Huxley hesitated. "What happens next?" She looked up at the stars, her eyes filled with calm determination. "Next," she said, "we show them what humans can build when no one stands in their way." Outside, the eclipse network pulsed once more, a heartbeat of light spreading from world to world. From the smallest colony to the largest city, people felt the same quiet strength rise within them. They weren't isolated anymore. They weren't under anyone's control. They were one. The Council's betrayal had not broken the